There's more violence in the West Bank as overnight Palestinian gunmen opened fire as a group of current and incoming members of the Israeli parliament were attempting to visit the Joseph's Tomb shrine on the edge of Nablus. Israeli forces returned fire, and a Palestinian teenager, Al-Aqsa Brigade member Mahdi Hashash, was reportedly killed when a bullet hit and detonated an explosive device he was carrying. None of the Knesset members were injured. A second Palestinian man was reported killed by Israeli fire this afternoon near Jenin. The IDF saying he was shot dead during an arrest operation while he was spotted trying to sabotage the West Bank security barrier. More details of the incident not yet available. Well, among those at that incident at Joseph's Tomb overnight was incoming Israeli parliament member for the Likud, Boaz Bismuth, and he joins us now from Jerusalem. And Boaz, tell us a little about what you experienced there by Joseph's Tomb overnight.
First of all, I must say that was a very spiritual, great experience I had. It's the first time ever I'm invited there and I go there. It was a great thing for me and for the other members of Knesset that were with me. Yet, I must say that I was very, very sad to see that still today, in 2022, among my neighbors, among Palestinians, this is something for them that is shocking, that is not to be done, to go to a tomb or to an holy place. I cannot understand that.
Right, now you say a spiritual experience, but was there another message in this visit here in terms of the arrangements that Israel has reached or agreed to on the status of Joseph's Tomb? Is that something, for example, the incoming government or you would like to see the incoming government deal with?
First of all, the status of Joseph's Tomb, and it's a good thing that you're asking about it, is you know that it's under Israel's sovereignty. I mean, that is a fact ever since the Oslo Agreement, A. B, I mean, when you want to go and pray in a place that is under your authority, I mean, I'm asking myself, which other nation in the world have to ask permission to go to pray in a place that is theirs? So this is something that cannot be done, that will not be accepted. And if you want to see a certain message in that, I mean, it's not even a message. It's something that is so obvious that you don't even have to send a message. For me, it's sovereignty is something that is totally obvious for any country in the world, any country also that respects its religion like us. I mean, I'm wondering and I'm asking myself why Jews different than other nations. I mean, when we go to pray, I mean, is it hurting other nations if you go and pray in our holy places which are under sovereignty? I'm asking you.
Well, I'm asking you, Boaz. What do you want to see, or would you like to see the government try to change the arrangements there in some way, either on a security level or that's what I'm asking you in terms of what you would like to see happen. You're going to be part of this new government.
I'll tell you, and I was never shy, and I never hid. It was never hidden. I mean, the fact that in 2020, 15th of September, when the Abraham Accords were signed, and unfortunately, I mean, we did not have the second part, which was the first part, which was the normalization. Yet there was a second thing that I was expecting, and it was supposed to be done, is to implement the Israeli law in Judea and Samaria and in the Jordan Valley. I think this is something that we expect, and this is something that should be done in the next government, especially when you see that it is a right-wing government, and that the Israeli people, I mean, that is also what they expect.
Right. I just want to be clear. When you say implement Israeli law, you're talking about annex parts of the West Bank, a process that a previous government of Benjamin Netanyahu started to make moves to until the Abraham Accords.
Yeah, first of all, you know, you don't annex what is yours. I mean, you implement the law in a place that is yours, in your land. So this is also something, the terminology is very important, and I do think that also the language will be a bit different in this coming government. Yet again, I mean, things will be done in how would I say, in a respectful way, in a consensuous way. I mean, as much as you can, I mean, you know, in those issues. But again, what really for me was really, on one hand, I was maybe the happiest man in the world yesterday, going to the tomb of Joseph, yet the very sad to see and not be able to understand. When you go to the tomb, when you go to the site, and you see, first of all, the reaction of Palestinians to people who come to pray. I mean, we didn't come to bother anyone, yet just to pray in a place that is under our sovereignty, A. And second thing, to see the vandalism, the way this place is being treated by the locals. I mean, this is something also that was shocking, especially when we have to remember that we have one thing in common. We, I mean, cherish, respect, pray for Joseph, and Muslims too. So I don't even understand the reason why to have all those vandalist acts against such a place.
So you did suggest a sort of, I would say, a political step in response or to that current situation. What about the question of security? Because, of course, we've seen Nablus has been a hotbed of radical elements that even apparently the Palestinian Authority cannot come. So what do you expect of the government you're going to be part of, to do on the security level there?
So first of all, let's not forget, yesterday, there were riots when we came, there were rifles. We fell from the cars we were in, there's military cars. We got stones and fired at, and I asked myself, if we didn't go there last night, would the place or the area be calm? Look what's happening in Israel in the last weeks, months, and even more than that. Look at the number of casualties among Israelis, which was the biggest number ever since 2015. So when we came back now, when we won the elections and are going to form this new coalition, this new government, what we promised to do is something that we did in the future. The last 12 years of Netanyahu in power were the years where we had the smallest number of casualties. We know how to do it, and we shall do it again. Yet, I'm hoping on the other side, I'm hoping that Palestinians will understand that violence never brought them anywhere throughout decades, and it will never bring them anywhere in the future. On the contrary, when they negotiated with us, look what happened. Look how much for them they went onwards. Yet, I see them, instead of coming onwards, I look what I saw last night in Nablus, I see them going backwards, and that's very sad.
Right. Boaz, I want to ask you, as a former journalist with extensive foreign experience, and we saw those elections in the U.S. that left Joseph Biden not in the weakened position that many thought. How do you think some of the steps that you're discussing here are going to be received by the Biden administration, an impact on relations between the Biden administration and a new Netanyahu government?
So first of all, concerning the results, I think that the results, as you did not have this red wave, and of course you had a big winner, Ron DeSantis, and of course you had Donald Trump, who wasn't very successful, but you had also President Biden, who, with those results, he can look at himself as the one presenting himself again, and I wish all of them good luck. But to go back to the relationship between Israel and America, it's not a relationship that depends on the leaders themselves. This is religion between states, between people, between interest, and of course between values. And that is why I do think that the message of Israel, we also disagreed in the past. Remember, I guess, the Iran agreement, even with President Kennedy at the time, with issues that were more, which were really, really important. And of course, and we are great friends, but we can also disagree. And I think that Israel has to speak very, very clearly about implementing the Israeli law over our land in Judea and Samaria and the Jordan River.
All right, Boaz Bismuth, who will soon officially be joining the Knesset for the Likud Party. Thank you for joining us on
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.